Hello everyone. This is Tilla again, and today I'm going to be talking about 6 easy steps and what you can do to improve your accent no matter where you come from, no matter what you want to sound like. This is 6 easy steps to speak in neutral English. Now, our accent is determined by our cultural and linguistic backgrounds, where we grew up, what languages we speak or spoke when we were growing up. And if someone's got difficulties understanding your accent, it's just because they've got a different speech system to you. That's it. And you've got a different speech system to them. Our speech systems are programmed as we grow up, and they're influenced by the languages we speak. So often, if you're a native Spanish speaker, your speech system is quite different. Your vowels are different, your consonants are different, your speech melody, rhythm, and pace is quite different to an English speech system. So all you're doing is mapping a couple of similarities between speech systems and relearning a different speech system. Okay, and it can be done. So I'm just going to teach you 6 simple ways you can do, things you can do immediately to start speaking in neutral English. Okay, standard neutral English means that you do not sound like you come from a specific place. You do not sound that you came from America, or you come from Australia, or you come from UK. You just sound neutral. So your speech is nice, clear, enunciated, so that listeners from any part of the world can understand you. Okay, so let's get moving. So number 1, the first step you can do if you're going to learn how to speak in neutral English is identify which part of your speech needs the most improvement. Now, as I said, speech systems are different, so your speech can sound different because of a couple of reasons. So your consonants could make a difference in the way you say, in the way you speak. So let's say the sound in the letter H, H. So the way you say H or H might change the sound of a word that you're trying to say. Or think of common consonants that you might make errors on, like the TH sound, th. Lots of non-English languages do not have TH in their speech sound system at all. So that's a sound that you struggle on, then focus on that and then try to work on it one sound at a time. So listen to the consonants that you make errors on, or consonants that are not in your language, that are in English, and you want to try to learn how to say those consonants correctly. The other sound in speech that can influence the difference of your speech style is vowels. So vowels determine the speed actually, and the intonation you give a language. Vowels are different in every language, and hence they you sound different. You could speak English in Ireland, you could speak English in Scotland, you could speak English in Australia. And all 3 countries speak English but have different vowel systems. Okay, so you just want to relearn how to say the vowels so that you get them neutral, because they make a huge difference. How you say SHIP and how you say SHEEP, ship, sheep, does change the content, changes the meaning of your sentence. Okay, so you might want to focus and go, which vowels am I making short or long, and which ones can you correct? So that's number 2. Number 3, in your speech is the rate, intonation, and melody. So some people speak really fast as part of their speaking rate, speaking style, and that's usually me. In my second language, which is Tamil, which is an Indian language, it's quite a fast language, so I do have a tendency to speak quite fast. However, I do understand that people may not keep up with me if I speak too fast, so you might want to look at your rate of speech or your intonation. Your intonation is how up and how much stress you put on certain words. So have a look at your own speech. Identify the consonants, the vowels, and your rate of speech and intonation, and to see which area are you quite different in when you're speaking English. and then try to work on them. Okay, that's step number 1, identification. Number 2 is adopt a new speaking posture. Now, when you're learning standard neutral English, you want to adopt the posture that will help you speak correctly, or getting the accent right. So a lot of Asian languages, they're very sideways, they're very neutral, and they don't have a tendency to open your mouth, right? So that's different. And English, neutral English, has got a lot of up, down movement. So it's a bit like up, down, like this. So you want to practice actually opening your jaw so you don't feel uncomfortable when you're trying to speak, because dropping the jaw does make a huge difference in your vowels. So up, down, like I think, that's the kind of posture you want to adopt before you start training on any consonant, vowel, or intonation. Just remember that, the new posture of speaking. So it's the up, down posture, a bit like that. Number 3, now that you've identified which consonants you have to work on, pick on some and start working on them 1 sound or maximum 2 sounds in a week. A big clue I can give you guys is work on completing the end of sentences. And completing the end of words. So what do I mean by that? So every time you enunciate the last sound of a word, it makes the sentence a lot more clearer and a lot more enunciated. So words like that sounds like t, d, k, g, one more, p, b, t, d, k, g, p, b. These are stop sounds. Words that end with them, if you pronounce them clearly, that would make a huge difference than not saying them clearly. So saying the word tart and tart. I ate a very yummy tart with a T sound, or I ate a very yummy tart. Just not as clear, not as sharp, not as punctuated if you completed the last sound of the words. So T, D, K, G, P, B. Listen to those sounds and find the words that end with those sounds and pronounce them super clearly, and you'll be sounding a lot clearer. Let me move on to vowels. So as I said before, that's point number 4. So the most important part of someone's speaking is your length of your vowel. So how short or long your vowel is determines and changes the meaning of words. Like I said, S-H-I-P, S-H-E-E-P, or B-I-D, B-E-A-D, bid, bead, ship, sheep. So have a look, download my ebook, have a look and find some words that are, long, short vowel sounds. Short R, long R sounds, short E, long E sounds, short U, long U sounds. You want to practice like, my foot is hurting. I had really yummy food for lunch. That's the difference, okay? So determine the vowel lengths and practice them because they are essential in getting your meaning across correctly. Number 5 is nasal sounds. Now, nasal sounds are sounds that are emitted nasally through the nose. In English, there are only 3 sounds. They are M, N, and N, N-G. M, N, and G. Apart from those 3 sounds, or words that contain those 3 sounds, every other sound in English is oral. That means they're made by the mouth. You hear sometimes people speak and they speak like they're speaking through the nose. That's because they've got lots of nasal emission, like what I did just now. So you want to test for yourself whether you're having nasal emission when you're speaking. So you don't want to sound overly nasal when you're speaking other words. So a good test to do is nose pinch test. So when you are pinching your nose, when you're saying the quality of your R should not change. Okay, So quality of R, because R is a vowel and it's an oral sound, it should sound oral. If it's got any nasal emission, the quality would change. So let me just attempt. That's how I was trying to get some air through the nose and say the R incorrectly. Okay, so you want to test your sounds are not nasal when they're not meant to be nasal. Last one, number 6, speech melody. Now each language has got its own rhythm, its own pitch. That means, you know, English has got its own method of sounding as compared to, I guess, Spanish, you know, Italian or Hindi or Tamil or French or anything, any of the, or Mandarin, Korean, any languages. Each language has its own rhythm. You've heard, you know, people can say the sound correctly, but sometimes when you're not saying the sound correctly in the right rhythm, it sounds a bit strange to the ears. It's a bit like having the waltz tune and marching to it. You know, 1 2 1 2 to a bit of 1 3. Anyway, that's a bit technical. So when you get all the sounds correct and you're saying them all correctly, you want to say them as close as possible to the intonation of the English language. Now that is really, really hard. English is not a tonal language as well, meaning the way no is said, no, means the same. No, no, no. The tone, if you change the tone, it still means a no. Whereas in many South American countries and Asian languages, South American languages and Asian languages, tonal differences mark a change of meaning of word. In English, the change in tone does not change the meaning. A no means a no. Okay? Could mean a no, the question mark, but it still means an O. Okay? So you want to try to, as much as possible, listen to people who speak English, native speakers, to follow the intonation of their speech. If it's just some words that you keep getting incorrect, then look for people who just Google or YouTube how to say this word, like data, data, tomato, tomato. So you want to look at the intonation and where we put the stress on the word. That is quite important. And the only way to do that is by listening and by sharpening your listening ears, because the more aware you are of the different sound out there, the more you tune in. So awareness is the first step. Second step is you tune in. So you want to be aware of how someone is speaking English language differently. Listen to tunes, listen to intonations, even nursery rhymes. They would help you with intonation. Alrighty, so that was 6 steps. Let me just go through them. So number 1 is awareness, knowing which part of your speech you are going to be working on, your consonants, your vowels, or your intonation. Number 2 is working on specific consonants, which are at the end of words. T, D, P, B, K, G. Especially those sounds at the end of every word. Pronounce them clearly and your speech will take off. Number 3. Oops, I stuffed up my thing. Number 3 will be posture, standard neutral English posture, which is up, down rather than sideways. Okay. So number 4 will be vowels. So you want to pick on long, short vowels and ensure you get the correct length when you're saying the vowels. Number 5 is nasal. Make sure your speech is not overly nasal when it does not have to be. There's only 3 nasal sounds in English: M, N, and G. Okay. Number 6 is speech melody and intonation. You want to ensure that you are speaking the correct sounds in the same melody, the same rhythm, the same pitch as English. You can only do that by listening to other speakers who are native speakers of English. Alrighty, I hope that was hugely useful. If you found this video helpful, please share it around with your friends. And if you'd like to download an ebook, a free ebook, that's the link is at the bottom of my page. Please do that and I'll be sending you more tips, and I look forward to meeting you on your journey. See you later. Bye.